Alltel, Verizon, US Cellular.
I fall back every once in a while.
Anybody see the movie Midway?
It was a good movie.
Yeah, it's a great movie.
I like the original.
Very
better.
accurate.
Yeah. I like Charlton Heston in the original.
Oh, yeah, I did too, that was a good one.
Yeah.
I like it in the end when they blew up all their aircraft carriers.
Spoiler, the US win.
Again? Okay, we'll call tonight's meeting of the Boyd City Council to order. Mandy, would you take a roll call, please?
Andrew Graywan,
Present.
Kent Miller,
Present.
Lee McMillan,
Present.
Tony Newmark,
Yes.
Matt Audie,
Yes.
Floyd Latrell.
Present.
Thank you. If you'd stand with me for the Heavenly Father, thank you for the Thanksgiving weekend we just went through and the time with our families, and we look forward to the additional holidays moving forward, and continue to bless our governing body and those that have been with us for the last few years that are going to be moving on and being replaced by our new councilman, and let us all make the decisions that's the best for our community. In your name we pray. Amen. I
pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Andrew. Yeah. Matt. Bush. Sure. I'll give you another shot at it. Okay. All I want to say is, before you guys get a shot, thank Lloyd, you and Kent for the time that you served on the council and the commitment that you made, and your leadership that we hashed out a lot of things and moved the ball quite a ways down the road in the last 8 years. And I can't remember, well, you've been for 8 years on the council, haven't you?
Depending on how you count,
Okay.
because we had an extra piece that
Well,
changed.
thank you for serving our community. It is a commitment. It does take time when it's all high school. So, do you have anything? Jason?
Yeah, you can see some of the items that are on the agenda. Water treatment plant, not really a lot to update there. Of course, it's the holiday kind of sums things up. But I've been reaching out to Emily Bennett. She's been helping us with the actual grant application, especially the USDA and the KDHE. So we've got kind of all the clearances past the 30-day deadline for responses. And one of the tribes ended up responding. We're fine with it. And of course, the State Historical Preservation, they responded, they were fine. So just kind of get those things tied in. I'm going to double check again with KG, make sure they have everything, but I think it's just kind of a waiting game from them because we're all chomping at the bit to start getting to the design engineering and get this thing down the road. So a lot of progress, but we're kind of in that wait to see how much money we're going to get. So that's a big part of it. The airport runway extension closed out. I put that on here because we're going to talk about airport, but we actually got that project from way back then finally closed out. So we mainly got the last few pieces done. Again, it was a lot of just waiting to get through their process and getting the whole thing right, I guess, all their rules, even though they approved the project. It is what it is. But we got it all closed out, so that was a big win and thing off the plate. Think about 2 or 3 years ago when it was kind of dark and gloomy, and we just had to get that extension done, and I was like, oh, no, we're going to close it down or change it or whatever, and got through it. So that was positive. And the nice thing is also the dollars and everything, that we were owed and everything is all kind of fleshed out and done. So I think there wasn't 60,000 sitting out there. It wasn't even that much. I mean, originally like a year ago or so. Yeah. And I mean, it's just a few thousand here the last couple weeks. But so anyways, sales tax again, just kind of using that as a barometer for you guys. Got that latest report, so I have 1 month left, and again, we're tracking above last year, and we're getting close, we're pretty far on with 2017, so it's kind of nice to see it turn the corner a little bit, again, hopefully, they get some of these, the powers that be, get some of the things situated for the farm economy, and so that would help. The nice thing is it's nice to see that reversal in that trend. Sorry, you can't see it, but it's that green line, it's kind of right then we just had the meeting here before that, so Katie worked really hard, the planning commission worked really hard going through the whole zoning code here. We last adopted in 2015, 16, the comprehensive plan. They need a lot of work still, I would say, just to get it right. Anytime you update that massively like they did a few years ago, you kind of need to massively update it again. So that was done. Katie went through it all here the last several months and re-updated it and typed that all up. And so then the planning commission tonight and started going back through it again. So they got probably 2/3 or 3/4 of the way through, which is pretty awesome. So that should be a good thing for you guys to consider here in a couple weeks, or probably a month or so. I'll do a little bit more work in January and then re-bringing that to you and working on the maps some more. But that's a pretty big undertaking, but again, it's been about almost 5 years now, so it'll be ready to go now for a while. Drainage study update, so again, that's something that we've been working on, or Schwab Eaton really has been working on, and we should have some rough stuff here on December 5th for us to review and for, Stuart to review from his own engineering, but, not him, but the guy that works for him, but just to kind of make sure it makes sense for what's going on in our area, we kind of make sure that what they're saying is the problem area is actually the problem areas, and it'll give us kind of a plan of action. So hopefully, maybe towards the end of January, we'll have kind of the finalized version of that for you guys to consider and start doing some things with it. And then, as we talked about before, we'll have the Christmas, we'll get together on December 14th. So I think I got most of the head count. I'll get that to you guys and get that switched over. So I think that's all we got.
Okay, thank you, Jason. Heather?
I don't really have anything tonight. We'll talk a little bit about neighborhood revitalization later, but I think that's it, unless you guys have questions for me.
Okay, really? Okay. Thank you very much. I think we should introduce a new police officer. Is that, you gonna do that? Okay.
Gentlemen, this is Officer Logan Higbee. He just joined the police department yesterday. We're looking for him to go to the academy in February. Looking for, excuse me?
What was his name again?
Logan Higbee.
Okay.
Looking for him to help us out. So.
Welcome aboard. Welcome. Nice to meet everyone.
Logan's got a good background too. I think you also EMT or
I'm a paramedic.
Paramedic, yeah. So, be great to work on. Kind of, group here for a while and brings a nice background for us on this side of it. So.
When do you start down at the enforcement school?
Yeah.
I think they're hoping February, March-ish.
February.
Welcome aboard.
Thank you.
Where's home to you?
Dallas, Texas.
Okay.
But I moved over here. I went to high school in Concordia, so moved over here.
Went to high school in Concordia? Mm-hmm. Oh, I'll start that.
Wait a minute.
Check that out.
So he lives in Beloit.
Why don't you go home and get his address?
I was just wondering if, you had something about the neighborhood revitalization program and for people to talk about.
Yeah, it's coming.
Oh, it's coming, okay.
Next item on the agenda is the public hearing for the neighborhood revitalization. And so we'll now open our public hearing for the neighborhood revitalization. Any comments?
I was just wondering, I'm not really all that familiar with it, but I was just wondering do the citizens have to pay extra tax money to fund these houses that are being built and stuff like that, and the ones that are being revitalized?
Well, the short answer to that is no, because the money that goes out on neighborhood revitalization is the property owner who qualifies for that pays that money into the county, and then it's rebated, a refund back to them. So there's no money coming out of the taxpayer, and nobody else is supporting that with their tax dollars.
Well, the county lady over there told me they run a 4% deficit, and then that's dispersed out among all the taxpayers.
Yeah, but I think the thing to remember is, it's money that would never have been there without that, correct? Would those tax dollars be there without the new building?
Well,
I mean, that's the question.
they pay it in,
Correct.
but then they get it back. But it's still on the books, and somebody has to pay for that. And so that's what I understood from, I can't think of her name over there. Yeah, Chris. And she said that it's dispersed among all the taxpayers to pay for that. And I was just wondering, because I said something to her about how come they can't just not charge that property under that tax. She said, well, they can't do that.
But that's what they're doing. It's a net zero.
Yeah, but it's,
But that's what.
somebody's paying it though.
Yeah, the homeowner or the business.
Only if you set your budget to have more taxes than what you need.
Well, I'd like somebody to be able to, that knows about it, to be able to check in on it.
Sure. Well, I mean, I feel like we know about it, but yeah, I think it'd be better to talk about it offline, and we can go through it. I got a lot of numbers and stuff I can show you. That'd make you feel more comfortable.
Well,
I mean,
she told me over there that all the taxpayers have to pick up that 4% deficit that, because they give back $7 million over X number of years, and the taxpayers have to pick up that 4%. Because they can't just not charge, they can't say, well, we're just not gonna charge you this money this year because the government won't allow.
And that's true. That's true as far as they have to give it back. They can't just not charge you, but it's the same coming in as what's going out. So in a sense, they're not charging you.
And it's not quite the same going in and coming out, because you only get a percentage of it back
Yeah,
over
that
the
is
10
true.
years.
So the first year, you 5% stays. The next year, 10%, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, 100.
And they are paying it in, so everybody has to pay it in, and then you're rebated back, a portion of that.
Everybody has to pay it.
Everybody pays
Yeah.
it. You are paying everything. You're just rebated back a portion of that
I think,
over 10
I
years.
think but if you look at it as if,
Yeah, but if you get rebated back, then that's the same as not paying it in. But if somebody
Yeah.
builds a house and is charged X number of dollars for taxes on it, then they get their tax dollars back, but then we gotta dig into our pocket to pay for that difference. That's what I was to understood.
sure, but if the house wasn't there, you'd be paying more, right?
Not, no, we wouldn't be paying more if their house wasn't there.
But it's, okay, yeah, that's why we think we need to talk about it. Because let's say your budget demand is like $100,000, and so we are all gonna pay that $100,000, right? And so if the new house comes on board, we were all, before that house was gonna be there, we were all gonna have to pay the $100,000, so that's what you need for your budget, as a county, let's say, okay? So the new house comes on, that might lower it, but what we're saying is we're gonna incentivize it, so it's as if it was never there,
But the $100,000 is still the same.
still needed. It's hard, it's hard.
Well, I'd like to find out for sure.
Sure,
Well, on that, I think you're explaining it right, but it's more of a tracking device. I mean, like, the rest of us aren't just gonna, like, we're not paying it. It's just a tracking device on there.
Well, my
On
question
there.
is, because, you know, and I know it's county as far as paying your property taxes,
sure.
but our evaluation has gone up. I mean, there for a while, it was going up $15,000, $25,000, $30,000 a year. And I said, we're not doing that kind of improvements. They said, well, it's not figured that way. Well, how is it figured?
Yeah, that.
I mean, that's where I'm wondering if that revitalization, if we're part of that improvement that we're supposed to have done,
Sure.
came from that.
Yeah,
I mean, because we bought a house for $26,000, and now all of a sudden we're paying it like we're millionaires.
yeah, I understand that. Yeah, I don't know how the state, the county assessor necessarily does that.
Any other questions? Is there any questions from anybody else on the neighborhood revitalization? If there's no other questions, we'll close our public hearing. Thank you for your comments. Next item on the agenda is a consent agenda for November the 19th council meeting of appropriations 12A. So we moved by Councilman Miller that we approve the consent agenda in its entirety. Do I have a second? Second by Councilman Gann. Any further comments? No further comments or questions? Those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same. Motion carried. Next item, right now, we'll go into a recess so we can swear in thank the old councilman and swear in the new councilman. And Kent, would you like to say anything?
Swear out.
We're gonna swear them out. We're swearing you guys out.
I'd just like to say that I really enjoyed serving with all of you guys. And Katie, Mandy, appreciate all you do, your staff. I really feel like we're really fortunate to have Jason